Hey y'all, it's Comic Girl Cosplay here, and I am joined by an extremely sleepy on my lap comic dog cosplay. This is going to be my first video of 2017, so Happy New Year to everyone, and I hope you and your families all had a wonderful and safe holiday. So I just wanted to post this video to give you guys an update on 2016, so how I developed as a person and as a cosplayer in 2016. My cosplay resolutions for 2017, as well as new and exciting stuff coming up in 2017. So I guess we'll start at the beginning and review 2016 as a year in cosplay. 2016 was a bit of a question mark. I've never quite had a year like this year when it comes to cosplay. The year kind of started out with a bang. My friends and I decided to go to Toronto Comic Con, which would have been my second ever out-of-town convention, because at that time I still lived in Ottawa. So we went to Toronto. I had a wonderful time, met some friends, made some new friends, hung out with some old friends, and then I went to the Ottawa Geek Market and I competed in the ICG regulated masquerade, and won an award, putting me now in the master level category, which is something I'd been working towards for a little while. After that, I got some news, shortly after that actually, I got some news that would kind of turn my entire life upside down. I got a job in the Toronto area, so I had less than 2 weeks to pack up and move my entire life over. The first few months were basically unpacking, setting everything up, buying all the stuff you didn't know you needed, because it's your first time moving to a new city. So that was very time consuming. But at the same time, I also wanted to have a bit of social life, and some of the friends that I had made back in March at Toronto Comic Con were so wonderful and kind of took me in. So I hung out with them and, had a bit of a social life and did that. And then con season came and I panicked, struggling with that, trying to kind of costume in a half unpacked apartment and working full time and having comic dog cosplay. It's a little bit much because the adjustment, obviously there was an adjustment for him as well. But we got through it. And by the end of 2016, I was making a post that showed the costumes that I made in 2016. And I dreaded making this post. I thought to myself, I can't do it. I made like 1 or 2 costumes this year. I can't make this post. As it turns out, I had made 11 different cosplays this year, and 6 or 7 of them were 100% from scratch. And so having done that, that was a bit of an eye-opener, because everything had been so rushed. And this actually leads me into my first New Year's resolution for 2017, a cosplay resolution. I want to avoid doing con crunches. Basically all of these costumes this year were under a con crunch deadline, because as I had mentioned, my apartment was half unpacked. I work full time, having to help this guy adjust. It was just so much. And then, having to have costumes ready for a convention. I just felt this overwhelming pressure to get things done. In fact, at Otakuthon, I actually brought my sewing machine with me to the convention. I've never done that before. So first New Year's resolution is to avoid, or try as best as I can, to avoid the dreaded con crunch. And going hand in hand with that, I would also like to make less costumes this year. I know that sounds like a bit of a weird cosplay resolution, to make less costumes, but I did 11 cosplays last year. You blink and you're like, how did this all happen? To put it simply, because of all the con crunch, because of, staying up really late sewing, because of sewing at a convention, it didn't occur to me how many of them had really added up. And also there are just so many cosplay events in the GTA that, you always feel like, oh, well, I didn't do that many. But at the same time, you look back and you're like, oh, I guess I did. So my focus for 2017 will be to make less costumes. I don't want to ever do what I did at Otakuthon again. I don't want to bring a sewing machine with me to a convention. I want to be able to go to a convention and enjoy the convention for what it is and not worry about, well, I have to get this costume done. So 2017, less costumes to make so I can focus on enjoying the convention itself, and also so that I can focus on making larger and more intricate costumes. I have 5 costumes lined up for 2017, and only one of them has a fixed deadline. The reason that one has a fixed deadline is because it's for group cosplay. It's a group cosplay. I'm really excited about it. If I happen to get more costumes done, that's awesome. But I'm striving to get these costumes done, and that's it. I really want to focus on actually enjoying the costuming process. I know there is going to, at the end of the day, be a little bit of hair, ripping out my hair, but I really want to try and avoid as much of that as possible because I don't want to, once again, feel all this stress and, literally bring a sewing machine with me to a convention because I'm worried about not finishing a costume. I remember I stayed up 43 hours straight because I was trying to finish that costume and not have to bring my sewing machine, and I still had to bring it with me. Because when you try to sew when you're tired, you make lots of mistakes. That's what I'm looking forward to instead of doing con crunches in 2017. Less costumes, higher quality costumes. And talking about quality costumes, my next resolution for 2017 will be to, once again, for at least one convention, compete in another ICG masquerade. I kind of lost my passion, I think, back in 2014 or 2015 for competing in masquerades just because I had built up such a personal standard. I always felt like I, had to exceed this, that, and that, and it just became so overwhelming that I lost passion for it. After last year, after 2016, competing in the Ottawa Geek Market Masquerade, I found my passion for competing again. I definitely had lost that somewhere, and I found it. I found it again at that convention. And it really struck a chord, as I mentioned, with me. Unfortunately, a lot of the conventions and events in the GTA don't have ICG regulated masquerades. So I guess this is going to have to wait until I come back home or go to another convention. Upcoming things for 2017 that are 100% happening. There's going to be the either weekly or every 2-week YouTube posts. Haven't quite hammered out which one of the two I'm going to be doing, but we're just going to kind of play it by ear and go. At least one international convention. I'm hoping to host at least one panel in 2017. Compete, hopefully, one more time in 2017. I have a lot of ones. And possibly my most exciting announcement, I have created a Twitch account and I'm going to be doing live streaming in 2017. I haven't decided on a date yet or if it's going to be how frequent they're going to be. Some of it will be actually gaming, but in costume. Costumes relevant to the games too. Ooh. Sometimes in costume, sometimes not. Ever since I moved, one of the things that has really helped me stay in touch with some of my family back home was to play video games online with them. Usually, before this, I was probably the worst person on the planet at video games. And now I'm probably the second worst person on the planet in video games. I'm sorry for whoever's rank I beat as the #1 worst person on video games in the planet. I'm gonna have some cosplay guests/friends co-stream with me at the same time, which is gonna be really fun. I'm gonna be live streaming silly videos / vlog hangouts with fellow cosplayers, and also I'm going to be live streaming cosplay marathons. So for example, on a weekend where I've dedicated the day to cosplaying, or on an evening where I'm going to be working on a certain costume or a certain aspect of a certain costume, I'm going to have a live stream going so you can look at my progress, you can ask me about what I'm doing, you can also ask me about any of the techniques I'm using, you can ask me any questions about that, you can try and sneak a peek and guess to see which cosplay I'm doing and I might answer. And you can also just ask me any general questions. And so I'm really, really looking forward to that in 2017. So I hope to see you all there. I'm going to put a link to my Twitch stream down in the description. I will make a post on all my social medias whenever I am going to be doing a live stream. And I hope you all have a wonderful 2017, and I hope to see you guys around the corner and possibly at some new conventions. Anyways, until next time, when the uncanny adventures of Comic Girl and a very, very, very sleepy comic dog cosplay continue.